Meowdy and welcome. My name's en-viss, my pronouns are they, them, and this is my Flosstube channel, Sleepy Goblin Crafts, where I talk about all things cross-stitch, and sometimes other things, if I feel like it. So today, got a mixed bag. I've got starts, I have whips, I have a couple of finishes. I also want to go over the brief time that I had at the Midsummer Stitch event on Saturday, and potentially throw some ideas at you guys for possible segments in future videos. I don't have anything concrete right now, but I've been kind of brainstorming ideas and I would like your input on them. So we'll get into that later. For the time being, go ahead and get comfy, grab yourself something to snack and drink on. You know how it goes. Let's get to it. Okay, so I do have one shout out I'd like to do before we get into everything, and that is for Pixel Pixie Cross Stitch. If you follow her, you're probably already aware of this charity drive that she's doing, which is Rage Stitching for a Cause. I will include a link below to a couple of her social media accounts that go over this. It's been going on since the beginning of the month. I think you have through the end of the month to donate. Basically, you donate $5 to at least one of the 4 charities that she has listed, and you'll get 2 charts, or donate $10 and receive one of her designs for free as well, on top of the 2 charts. So the charities are Amnesty International, the Human Rights Campaign, International Rescue Committee, and Planned Parenthood. So she will, once you send her basically a screenshot of like the donation confirmation, she will send you 2 patterns. So I'll show the 2 patterns here. The first one is War Against the Innocent is Never Justified. The second one can be modified. It's one of 3 different patterns. It says billionaires are the problem, and then it can say not your immigrant neighbor, not your trans neighbor, or not your gay neighbor. So $5 to one or all of these charities will get you both of those patterns. If you donate at least $10, you will also get a free pattern. So she didn't really give a deadline, but if you ask and it's like after the end of the month, I'm sure something can be arranged. So I've been wanting to promote that, but I haven't filmed since my whip parade. So, all right, now with that all said and done, let's get into finishes. First, you guys have seen me working on this since March, and it is done. I actually finished it before my whip parade, but I get to show it off in its entirety. This is Court of Crows by Fine Frog Stitching. This is the stitch along that has been going on since the beginning of the spring. And it's all done. I did it. Look at that. I did this on 18 count Caw, which is the recommended fabric. I did this on 18 count with the called for DMC. So each part was a portrait, one of the banners, or one of the small accessories, one of the small decorations, we'll call them. Finishing with the queen at the top here. This was a lot of fun. It did give me some difficulty, mostly because it was first time working on 18 count at the point where I could only use a single strand. So that was a big learning curve for me. I had started working on the portrait outlines and realized that 2 strands I was not going to be able to make it using 2 strands for the entire stitch along. So I had to frog and started doing everything in just 1 strand. There's a ton of color changes in this. It gives it depth, it gives it definition, but oh man, these roses, the reds, there's like 3 or 4 different reds in each rose, and it's worth it. It looks gorgeous. This is stunning. But it was a lot of work, and it definitely tested me a couple of times because I had not experienced such intense color changes. And as time went on, it definitely got easier knowing what to expect with the color changes, but each week also was a different amount of stitching. I mean, because you would get, one week you would get the flowers, right? And then the next week you'd get the portrait. And then the following week you'd get like one of the decorations. And then the next week you'd get the flowers again. But the 2 weeks that had the rest of these banners, that was a lot of stitching. That was almost like, that was more than 500 stitches each. That was a lot. And again, lots of color changes. I mean, there's like 3 different grays in the claws, you know? And then 3 different blues, 3 different, just not complaining. 'Cause it's beautiful and the end result is highly worth it. But it definitely tested me as a new stitcher because I was not prepared to jump into the deep end with such intense color changes. So I know better for future stitch alongs, kind of what I'm personally looking for. If you are interested, Fine Frog Stitching is doing another stitch along. I don't think I'm gonna be participating like as the sections are released. The theme, it's called Tea Leaves and Twigs, so it's like a tea party themed. So if you are interested, definitely check it out. But now I get to look for a frame for this, something that is fitting. Hopefully I can find like a gold or maybe like a bronzy brass, something. Not silver. I don't think I want to do silver. I definitely want to do something yellowish for a frame for this, and hopefully oval. It's actually really difficult to find circular frames. Like secondhand. I'm trying to shop frames secondhand. I know there are shops online that people will get frames from. I'm just trying to save my wallet a little bit. So yeah, hopefully I will be able to show you guys a frame for this in the near future, because I would love to get this framed. Where it's not going up anywhere in my house right now, because we will be moving and that seems kind of pointless, but I do want to get a frame for it. My second finish is not a fully finish, but it will be shortly because Meowdy editing en-viss here. So what I just said, it's not getting finished. It's maybe going to get a backing and I'm going to give it to a friend as a gift, maybe, but I'm not going to talk about the finish. I'm not going to talk about the product itself. Povitrulya posted AI on their Instagram today, and you know me, I'm not about that. So we're not going to promote that. No. I posted my review on Amazon. It says that it's being reviewed. I don't know what that means, but we'll see if it gets posted. I gave them 1 star because, yeah, sure. Whatever nice things I had to say about the pattern itself, that doesn't matter. They used AI for like a marketing engagement sort of post. So yeah, I'm not going to promote that. So, back to the video. Moving on to whips now. I have 3 works in progress that I have worked on. A couple of these I showed in my whip parade and I have not worked on since, so they will look the same as they did in my whip parade. Starting with Strawberry Cat Farmer. This is by Stitch Sprout. I am doing this on 18 count vintage from BeStitchMe. Going forward, I will do my absolute best to include a before photo. I just think those are very nice. It helps you guys know what it is exactly that I stitched on. It helps me know exactly what I stitched on as well. So for this though, I have not worked on it since my whip parade. Because originally when I first worked on this, I just did like the handle of the basket and I think the fabric of the basket. But now I've got a little bit more detail in there. The goal with this little lady is to turn her into a standing doll, a la Stacy Nash Animal Crackers. I just think she would look really cute as a little doll. So, not sure when I'm gonna have the chance to pull this one out again. As you guys are aware, I may have booked myself really full for the rest of the summer on some things. Next, I worked on Nature's Journey. This is by Sprouting Lupine. This is the year-long stitch-along that is in Just Cross Stitch magazine. It is released. The only 2 parts have been released. The 3rd part will be coming out this August, I believe, is what Kat said. And I am now at 25% on the summer section. Last night, I finished putting in these daylilies and this yellow mushroom. I really do enjoy how this is coming out. It is a delightful stitch, truly. So, fun fact about orange daylilies, these are invasive, and they are actually one of my least favorite summer plants. I just think they're ugly. I'm not a big fan of lilies to begin with, like calla lilies, like that, the whole family of lilies. They're just, I don't know, they're too long. Does that make sense? Like, these orange daylilies are really annoying to me because here in Michigan, you will see them alongside the road. Most of the time you'll see them like at the beginning of driveways, where they will, like in the very early season, they're very pretty because they're just blooming. But throughout the summer, they just keep growing, like their stems just keep growing. And so they start like drooping. And that could be just on the homeowner not maintaining their garden, but they will just start having like more and more leaves produced, I think. And so by the end of the summer, you have like one orange daylily stalk and like 20 leaves. And it just feels overgrown and doesn't look nice, in my opinion. But almost everyone that I know has some sort of lily and or specifically orange daylilies in their garden. And I just think they look tacky. But that's just me. But this looks cute. this looks cute. Especially this orange mushroom. I think it looks cute. So I'm at 25%, so I'm going to put this down for the rest of July. Which, I mean, it's only like a week left of July, so what does that mean? But next, I will probably be working on the motif. Like there's a long foxglove plant here, and I cannot remember, but there is something here as well. But I think I'm going to work on the foxglove next, because those are one of my favorite summer plants. And finally, the last whip I have to show, I have also not worked on since my whip parade. This is Darling Starling. It is my thread end project. I was inspired by Michelle of BeStitchMe, who, I don't want to say Michelle started the thread end idea, but she's the one that I learned about it from. And I am almost done. I think I'm close to 65-70% on this. I accidentally gave these birds a cob of corn to share with the colors. I did this late at night and was not thinking, obviously, of putting two different yellows together. So that's where we are with this. Most of the colors in these two birds are from Court of Crows, because that is my most recent finish. I cannot tell you what some of the other colors are from, because I don't remember. So probably by the next time I work on this, I'll probably finish it. I tend to save a few tail ends from projects and just kind of let them pile up before I work on it in its entirety. Mostly because it doesn't feel super fulfilling to just put a length in and be done with it. Next are my new starts. And oh boy, do I have a few. You guys already saw 3 of these in my whip parade, so don't be surprised. Or do be surprised, I don't know. My first new start is Year in the Woods, is part of the Year in the Woods 2 collection. This is the wolf. It is from Cottage Garden Samplings. I am doing this on 18 count Cactus Wren from Fox and Rabbit with the called for DMC and the 1 overdyed floss. And I am trying to focus on this little hut because it is very cute. I started this for Sean's birthday at the end of June. I've wanted to work on it a little bit, but alas, I have not. Next, this is still in my Q-Snap because I am actively working on it. This is Oak Keeper. This is also by Fine Frog Stitching. This is going to be a birthday present for a very dear friend of mine. I am doing this on 28 count honey from BeStitchMe in the called for DMC. I am loving working on this. So the original, I'm hoping to have this finished by my friend's birthday at the beginning of September. I am currently at 22%. I basically did all of the fill-in on the fox's head yesterday. So I did about 530-ish stitches yesterday. So, hoping that I can stay on track to get this finished in time for her birthday. I am also looking for an oval frame for this, which, again, very difficult to find a thrifted oval frame. What the fuck? I can't stop staring at her. She's so magical looking. So, you will see her next time, I'm sure. Hopefully more progress done on her. I'm going to focus on the oak leaf next, which is going to be all of this fill-in. And then, because I don't want to undo the Q-snap until this section is done. And I still have quite a bit of stitching to do for this leaf, obviously. Once that's done, I will move the Q-snap down so that, one, I can finish the frame. This frame. It's the entirety of the pattern. And then it's her robes. So it is a bust, so it does only, I think it comes up to like her midsection and up, but still. So, yeah. This is the last start that you guys got a sneak peek of in my whip parade. This is Spooky Night. It's a stitch along by Tiny Modernist. As you can tell, I am behind. No one is surprised. I finished part 1, which is the vase with this fun little eyeball. And I started on the frame for part 2, which is a witch. I will eventually pick this up again. Don't know when. But I love the colors in it, so it is on my to-do list. I just need to get through some things first. I am using the called for DMC conversion on this, and this is my remnant of Banshee from Fabrics by Stephanie that I'm using. So, I love working on this fabric. It's the perfect color for this project. Next, this is also in the Nerd Hoop because I am currently working on it and trying to finish it. If you follow me on Instagram, you will know. This is Stitch for Pride 2025 July's pattern, which is honoring Emilio Roble Avila. If you guys watched my whip parade, you will know that I completely butchered this saying, which is La tierra es para quien la trabaja, I believe. I did not get a proper pronunciation of it, but it translates to the land belongs to those who work it, which I believe is a Zapatista phrase, or at least like a mentality of the Zapatista. So, who is Emilio Robles Avila? Well, he was part of the Zapatista. He fought in the Mexican Revolution for independence and was honored as a veteran. There is a lot of interesting history about this guy. He is one of the first openly trans military veterans who transitioned during the revolution. Emilio came into the revolution as Emilia, and during the revolution changed his name to Emilio. And according to comrades and family members, Emilio always was very masculine presenting, was always seen with a cigar, knew how to shoot a gun, like very masculine traits. So the transition for Emilio was not necessarily one that it sounds like he struggled with. So the nice thing learning about Emilio is that honestly he was kind of very much like what you would expect a veteran to be like of a revolution like this. He was known for being like a ladies' man. It sounds like he did not have a very good relationship with his wife and daughter. The government did recognize Emilio as a veteran. I believe, though, that there was some issues after the fact. The family, it sounds like, wanted to honor Emilio, keep his name, like, have no changes there. But unfortunately, it sounds like the state and the government wanted to try and honor Emilio instead, as well as honoring Amelia, which is stupid because Amelia never existed. Like, straight up, transphobia 101. Trying to dead name a trans person after death by honoring them and setting up a school with their dead name. Get that shit out of here. That is transphobic. So the family has outwardly said that they do not support the government using the name Amelia for these honor, what are they? The, like, in memory of buildings. Do not support it. So good on the family, but obviously the government still has a very long way to go to not dead name and be transphobic towards honorable, well, veterans. But the pattern itself, gorgeous. I love and hate working on this pattern because this bird is so much fun to work on, but is also the bane of my existence right now. This is my first time working with blended threads, don't you know? I am using the number 23 and 351 to make this kind of let me put something behind this. There we go. So I'm using blended thread to make this look kind of blotchy, blended look. And then for the text, I am using a green, a white, and a red to represent the Mexican country flag. I will do it on this side as well, where it says "Quien la trabaja." Trabaja? I'm sorry. I'm almost done with the bird, which means I'm almost done with the pattern. Seriously, this thing has given me a run for my money. It's fun to work on because it's challenging, but man, I am struggling. I get a length of thread in it once a day, and I'm good. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I don't know what it is. It's challenging, but we're almost there. It's taken me almost all month, but we are almost there. I see the end. I think I'm at like 75%-ish. So hopefully the next time I see y'all, this will be done. And I'm starting on August's, but this will be done by the end of the month. I'm done. This is done. The pattern is by D's 20 Stitches. It is part of his Stitch for Pride 2025 year-long stitch along. And I am stitching this on the called for fabric, which is Resistance by Mislaid Pages. I am doing this on 18 count. I am not going to unfold it for y'all because that's a pain, and I am actively working on this, so it's staying in the nerd troop. Now, these are new. I have 2 new starts that I started since my whip parade. I started the Goblins with Kitty, who is Kitty the Sulky Stitcher on YouTube, and also Sulky_X Stitcher on Instagram. We started this on July 13th for a fun summerween pattern to start, and I decided to start on the border for these guys. So this is the far right corner, which is where I started, and I'm making my way towards the middle. And these little black spots, those are their claws. And I am also going to be working with blended thread on this as well, because a lot of these little goblin bodies are blended thread. So look at that. No, sorry. It's kind of hard to tell. The picture really, I mean, this pattern is from Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. It is the September-October edition from 95. So obviously a lot of these colors might have some dye lot changes. I mean, already, the blue-gray in the pattern, like in this model stitch, you can tell now it is a bit more gray, because in this picture it's more light blue. So I'm not really sure what kind of effect they were trying to go for with the pattern specifically, because this green right here, it's 2 greens, right? Like, I have a dark green and a lighter green. And I don't know why the pattern calls for that. Because these are the only 2 sections that have that kind of different coloration in the top row. I'm not sure if it was like trying to get like a shaded effect going or something. Either way, this is very fun regardless. Like, I there's something charming about working on an older pattern. I am working directly out of the magazine. I have not made myself a working copy yet, which I think I will once I get into the text, like once I get into the center. This is the middle right here. This is the middle right here of the pattern. Like where this triangle is. So I am like halfway across, essentially. So, and I am using a pretty large piece of fabric, so I'm not too concerned about having like enough margin or anything like that. This is being stitched on 18 count vintage Stormy Clouds, which is a printed Zweigart, so the back side is white. And I am using the called for DMC that's in the magazine. Whether or not the colors will be portrayed as is. I mean, this is literally the only photo available of this pattern, and it's like at a distance. So it's gonna be hard to tell kind of how accurate, I guess, the colors are. If the colors don't match exactly, I'm not gonna be hell-bent about it, you know? It's not gonna be the end of the world. And lastly, my new start from over the weekend at Midsummer Stitch. I started this with Eli of Thick Threads, Krista of Clover Hop Stitching, and Clancy of Clancy_Creations. We all started Summer's Day by JetX Stitch. I am using a mixture of the DMC conversion as well as some of the called for overdye. You can't really tell, but the bee's wings are the overdyed, are the called for gentle arts, and these are the rest of the colors so far are the DMC conversion. And I am stitching this on 28 count Frozen Lake. I know the name Frozen Lake is like, oh, well, that should be for winter pattern. And I would be inclined to agree, because this was the February fabric of the month from BeStitchMe. However, you can't tell me that this doesn't look like a sunny summer sky. Like, I think this is the perfect fabric for this. I love it. And the way that this blue, this dark teal blue for this flower wreath looks, I think it's stunning. I'm so excited to work on this more. And those sneak peeks that Jessica gave us during her Q&A, oh my God. I'm excited. So this will hopefully get some more progress on it before, because it's still in the nerd hoop. So I'm hoping to get some more progress on this before I put it away for a little bit. I would like to get at least the top section done. Like, I'm working my way up on this side, so I'm hoping I can make it to the sun, work on that corner, and then I'll probably call it good for a bit. So that's all the things that I'm currently working on. It's a lot, isn't it? Doesn't feel like a lot for some reason, but it is. What do I have planned? Well, this week, July 23rd, myself, Krista of Clover Hop Stitching, and Selena of Spicy Selena Crafts, we have an official stitch along, or start along at the very least, that we are putting on Instagram. It is hashtag 100 days to Halloween Sal. It started because we are all starting Cat-O Lantern by Luminous Fiber Arts. And I am working on kitting mine up. I just need to get my floss together, really. I will be doing mine on this 28 count of Graveyard Mist from Lap and Loops. I picked this up, I think, because it was on sale from Lindy Stitches a few months ago. So it is a very, very light gray, which perfect for the Cat-O Lantern. So if you are interested in joining, it does not have to be Cat-O Lantern specifically. It could be any Halloween pattern, really. Maybe more leaned towards a Halloween cat pattern. But ultimately, we are celebrating 100 days to Halloween starting on July 23rd. So if you want to participate, go ahead, get something kitted up. Or if you have something that you're already working on, as long as it's Halloween related and you are working it on July 23rd, because that's 100 days to Halloween, that's all that matters. As far as plans for future videos, I'm wondering if this type of conversation should be a different video altogether, like as a Flosstube extra. I don't necessarily know that I'd want to call it a Flosstube extra, because just the content of what I would want to talk about, it just feels a little like I don't know how to explain it, and this is why I'm bringing this to you guys. And I don't know if I want to necessarily include this in my normal Flosstube videos because I like to go on tangents. Y'all know this. Basically, I am taking a page out of Megan of Books in the Moon, her stance, more or less to speak, on how certain conversations are handled in the cross-stitch community. And by that, I mean to say they are not handled, quite frankly. A lot of this is nuanced in a way that I think a lot of folks who do Flosstube or are creators online don't want to rock the boat. Because if you rock the boat, you get pushed off the boat, essentially. And this is our community. This is a place where we all come to talk about cross-stitch. But unfortunately, there are inevitably bad eggs in whatever type of community you belong in whatever type of online space that you participate in. That's just the inevitable nature of existing in a society, right? Unfortunately, though, I think there is a lot of fear in pushing the status quo, especially from Flosstubers. We don't see a lot of people bring up difficult topics that come from within the community. That is to say, racist designers, bigoted designers in general, and AI, the use of AI in designing. Talking about that to other creators and other Flosstubers. Because, I mean, I'll be honest, I scroll through my recommended feed of people that I don't follow, and a good third are using AI as marketing material. And people who say that they are against AI follow them. Is it because they're ignorant, or is it because they are just putting blinders on and pretending that that doesn't exist in their community? So, bottom line, I am not here to start fights. I am not here to cause problems, really. I want to bring attention to the problems that exist and offer solutions and offer a space to talk about these where we can talk. And I say that as someone who has chronically been online my entire life. I have literally been online regularly since probably the age of 8. That is almost my entire life. I am 31. I grew up on forums. I grew up on Neopets. I've been on DeviantArt. I was in those forums. I was on LiveJournal. Where else have I been? Wasn't really on Gaia Online. I was on Tumblr. Dear God, I was on Tumblr. Okay? The height of Tumblr. 2006 to 2013. I was there. So I am aware of how petty online spaces can get and how aggressive and how personal people can take attacks because they don't want to admit that they are wrong, and they don't want to admit that they are doing something harmful because they are either willfully ignorant about the problem, or they themselves don't want to cause problems. Well, unfortunately, in today's day and age, we don't get to have that choice, because people who are neighbors with Nazis don't get the option to be nice to the Nazi. You want to know why? Because silence is compliance. And people need to start speaking the fuck up. Because if people don't start speaking up, we're going to have a lot bigger problems on our hands. And it starts from within the community. It starts with our neighbors. It starts with our friends. It starts with our families. It starts with us. What does this have to do with cross-stitch en-viss? Everything! Everything. Are you not paying attention? You should be. I don't know how else to say this. I just feel like a community that I myself am now neck deep in, quite frankly. You've seen all of my whips. I love it dearly here. I love the people I'm friends with. I love this community. But there are some people who just refuse to open their eyes. They're either afraid of being cast out by their peers, or they are just being led by willful ignorance, I guess we'll call it. Because I want to believe in the best of people's intentions. Unfortunately, I know that is a very naive state of view, but that's just who I am. So this is something that's important to me because community is important. And everybody's shouting about how important it is that we build community right now. Except when part of my community has people who think trans people shouldn't exist, who think people like me shouldn't exist because I have they, them as my pronouns. We have people who think that anyone who isn't white shouldn't have as the same rights in this community. And I don't think those people belong in this community. You want to know why? Because they're assholes. And everybody talks about how welcoming and accepting this community is. Yeah. Until they're not like them. Until the moment that you open your mouth, say something that does not align with them, and they shut you out. Or cause problems on purpose. Which apparently is what I am doing. So, if you're still with me, I want to offer a place in the cross-stitching community where we're basically airing dirty laundry. There are way too many skeletons in the closet for my liking, quite frankly. And people deserve to know. There are so many things that I did not know that have me side-eyeing shit because it's just not talked about. And I don't think that's fair, quite frankly. So, with all of that out of the way and said, I would like your guys' thoughts. How should I approach this? I can do a blog, maybe. I can do a video like this, going through, and I'm not gonna do this baselessly. I'm not gonna name drop and just say, have at it. Like, no. There will be receipts. There will be documentation. There will be things to help actually document what's happened, where we are at, and if any progress has been made. I mean, I'll be fucking honest. If someone somewhere said something online in 2014 and has since shown and proven that they've grown as a person and they regret what they did 10 years ago, get that shit out of here. People change. Literally. That's what we want, isn't it? For people to learn, for people to grow. I think it can be possible still. So, I know this is long and I've rambled, but I think where we are as a community, especially as online events start becoming more popular, as more pop-up events start happening, like smaller events that are hosted and catered by small shops. The roots of cross-stitch and fiber arts are vast, but a lot of them do come from kind of awful places. And I'm here to talk about it. Now, maybe I'm not the person to talk about it. Maybe I can go and find other people to help me talk about this. And because I say that as someone who does not have a degree in any type of, what would this be? Anthropology, I guess. Like, I have a degree in liberal arts. I graduated from a community college. This is just something that I believe in and that I'm passionate about, because I have never felt more connected to a community, and there are a lot of parts of this community that I feel like there needs to be change. And so many people are holding on to what feels like the most archaic versions of themselves because of really inane reasons, quite frankly. I will leave it at that. Please, put in the comments your thoughts. Am I insane for even suggesting this? If you don't feel comfortable publicly putting things in the comments, my DMs are open here and on Instagram. I promise you, if you approach this with an open mind and kindness in your heart and say, en-viss, I really don't think that this is a good idea. Here's why. I will truly appreciate your honest thoughts. I just think too many people are being quiet right now, and it's kind of a bummer. I should say, too many people with a lot more viewership than mine, with a lot more power and sway in the community. I barely have 150 of y'all, like, listening to me on a semi-regular basis, which, bottom of my heart, I love you guys. So, I'm a small fry in comparison. That being all said, that is like my grand plan, I guess. Coming late 2025, early 2026 maybe, because that's gonna be a lot of prep and research, because I am not just gonna word vomit for 25 minutes aimlessly. That being all said, let's move into haul. I have quite a bit of stitchy kindness. First things first, on the stitchy kindness, I really do have the best friends. I got this bag from Clancy. It is blue and magenta. I grew up on Blue's Clues, so this makes my inner child so happy. I love it so much. This is storing my Mill Hill kit currently. My fairy house. So I think going forward, most Mill Hills will probably find their way in here. Second, I got another bag. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that Krista made all 4 of us who started Summer's Day matching project bags using this fabric she got from Joann's. This was her first time sewing a project bag too, by the way. Look at how, like, literally, oh my god, there's cat hair on this. Look how seamless this is, literally. I'm obsessed with this fabric as well. Like, this giant foxglove is my favorite. It's so perfect. So yeah, Summer's Day is being stored in here. And it fits perfectly, actually, in the nurge hoop. I don't even have to remove the nurge hoop, which, great for me. She also kindly included, I did not expect this, she included a literal yard of 22 count Hardanger fabric. And I don't know if she included it because I mentioned I wanted to do a full coverage from, potentially do a full coverage from unconventional cross stitch, or if she was just going to, I don't think she was going to include it anyway, but I mentioned that I wanted to do a full coverage from unconventional cross stitch, and she was like, I have a 22 count, I'm gonna send this to en-viss. So I have a 22 count Hardanger waiting for me when I'm ready to start that journey. And the last of my stitchy kindness, I won this in a giveaway from Vicky of Stitch and Button on one of her most recent floss tubes. It's this beautiful Alphonse Mucha, not reproduction, but it's in his style. It's called Elegant Lady Sarah, and it is inspired from the artwork of Alphonse Mucha. And I saw this and I just threw my hat in the ring because Alphonse Mucha is one of my favorite Art Nouveau artists. I mean, he is the Art Nouveau artist, quite frankly. I love his stuff. I did an essay on him in college and his style of art. So there are several Art Nouveau pieces that I would love to work on, but this fancy lady has found her way into my collection, and I love her very much. She's very beautiful. It is full coverage, as far as I can tell. I don't know if this blue is stitched or if that's the fabric. I have not opened it yet because I don't have a reason why I haven't. But this is I tried looking this up. It is Cross Stitch Designs by Rena. I think she has a Facebook page, but I don't know if she's posting anymore or if she's doing cross stitch anymore. Some of the posts were from, the most recent post was from last year from what I could tell. But yeah, I am excited to add her to my to be stitched list. Maybe I'll put her on the 22 count Hardanger. I'm not putting her on the 22 count Hardanger. And I believe I mentioned this in one of my previous videos, but I decided to join Mystic Fabrics Fabric of the Month Club. I'm only in one Fabric of the Month Club at a time right now, so I have paused my subscription to BeStitchMe. And so this is July's Fabric of the Month for Mystic Fabrics. It is Tangy, which is this delicious yellow citrus color. Y'all know how I said that I'm not a yellow person? I'm not. I keep getting these yellow fabrics. So I have no idea what I'm going to put on this, but I do really like the color. So I'm like, okay. I'm sure I'll find something to put on it. Something summery, or maybe, I don't know, it's kind of pumpkin-y. It could be used as a fall color, but I decided to go up and count, so this is 32 count. And we will move into other things that are going on in my life. So if you were just here for the cross stitch, I appreciate you. If you made it through that whole tangent, fucking pat yourself on the back, because like that was a lot. So if you were just truly here for the cross stitch, thank you so much. I will see you next time. We're gonna talk about other shit that I'm doing, including reading ElfQuest. I finally finished reading the second book of the original quest. This is the Forbidden Grove. Again, I said it the last time I talked about ElfQuest, and I will say it again. If you like fantasy and you like stories that challenge the traditional fantasy tropes and storytelling tropes, read ElfQuest. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous story. It's like, for being written in the late 70s, early 80s, it challenges a lot of modern perspectives for storytelling. So I really love it. And I also just really love the colors too. Like, it's very good. If your library doesn't have it, I believe the first series, which is the original quest, is available online. If you search like ElfQuest comic, like their website, I think, will come up, and I'm pretty sure you can read like the first chapter, I want to say, for free. You read this, you'll understand why I am the way that I am, quite frankly. A lot of my formative years are because of this book. Well, not this book specifically, but ElfQuest in general. What else is going on? Well, we mentioned this in the Whip Parade, but Sean and I are finally back into playing D&D. I am DMing The Wild Beyond the Witchlight, which I will put a picture here. It is a carnival. It starts at a carnival, and you go to the Feywild. Shenanigans ensue. It's fun. I love DMing. I have been playing D&D since I was 10, I want to say. So it's another thing that's been a part of my entire life. I introduced Sean to it in high school, and we've been playing together since he started. And then he will be starting DMing another game for another small group of us. He is converting Shackled City, which was introduced in 3.5, to 5e, which I attempted to do some years ago, but our campaign kind of fell flat. So Sean's gonna give it a try, and I'm very excited. I ran Shackled City in 3.5. Okay, first I played Shackled City when it first came out in 2005. Well, technically it came out earlier, in like the 2000s, in like Dungeon Magazine, and it was put together in an anthology as an adventure, like as a campaign adventure from level 1 to 20 in a hardcover book. That is my pride and joy. That was my first adventure back in middle school. and that is what got me hooked on TNT. A lot has changed since then. 3.5 is a very, very archaic system. It is very number heavy. Do not recommend trying, quite frankly. It is text and number heavy. There were a lot of things that we did wrong. After high school, it was like, I think my senior year into my first year of college, I DM'd a 3.5 version Shackled City for a friend group, including Sean. And we did it. That is the only game I have actually DM'd from start to finish, level 1 through 20, all the way through the story. It was great. I have such fond memories of that. And now we can barely get like a session in, but that's just adulthood, isn't it? So Sean and I have been talking about rerunning another Shackled City campaign converted to 5e in an attempt to just play a game, because so many of our friends are focused on like trying to homebrew that we're like, why don't we try and stick with a pre-made game like what I'm doing with Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Gives us the setting, it gives us the story, we just have to throw some shit in to make it a little spicy. So I'm looking forward to that. I haven't played Shackled City since my first time playing D&D. I was a halfling rogue, and pretty sure I did not know what I was doing. Really, I played with my family, and I don't think they knew what they were doing, quite frankly. So I am probably going to play a witch. Sean is a patron of the Dimension 20 Patreon, and he is listening to Worlds Beyond Number, and that features a witch played by Erika Ishii, and they have the homebrew witch class, which is perfect, quite frankly. So I think that's the route I'm gonna go. We'll see. There's so many options now, but I'm very excited to play that. In a similar vein, been watching Sean play Dragon Age Veilguard, or he started a new playthrough. He is playing a elf warden warrior, and his plan is to romance Davrin. Because in my first playthrough that I did not finish, I was playing an elf mage who I was originally going to romance Lucanus. Found out his romance scene was kind of... So I was trying to shift gears to romance Emmerich, who I do love. His is a little bit more spicy. And I just kind of stopped after the halfway mark because spoilers. But I still want to see the finish, like the final product of the game. Sean's played the game. He's beaten the game. He has mixed feelings about it because Dragon Age is his baby. His first playthrough was a human rogue, and he romanced Lucanus. And he said that the romance was fine, it just wasn't what we were expecting. Oh, and faction-wise, my playthrough, I was part of the Veil Jumpers. Sean's first playthrough, he was part of the Crows. And this playthrough, he is part of the Wardens. I was hoping for we were both hoping for a little bit more Warden dialogue, especially with the Darkspawn. There's not really a lot. I'm hoping that it shows up more as we continue, but it is kind of disappointing that, like, we're both so warden pill-brained that we're like, give us, this is a warden, the darkspawn are their thing. Like, why are they not saying any, why are our companions who really don't have experience with the darkspawn, why are they saying more things about it than us? But I'm watching him play that while I cross-stitch. And lastly, any other K-pop Demon Hunter fans in the crowd tonight? It's a good movie. Like, I know everybody else that you guys watch is, like, I shouldn't say probably. I'm sure there are a lot of people who have talked about it and have seen it and have given their thoughts on it. I will just say, I think it's a wonderful movie. It's not groundbreaking, but it did make me cry because it's relatable. And that's all it needs. And the songs are catchy as hell. Am I bummed that it turned into a movie versus, like, I think it was supposed to be like an 8-part miniseries? Yeah, I'm really bummed. I want more demon lore. But apparently they got the green light for a second movie, so we will see what happens with that. Yes, I love Derpy. Yes, I love Sussy. Yes, I love the Saja Boys. Soda Pop is, unfortunately for me, just stuck in my head 24/7. I wake up, Soda Pop. I go to bed, Soda Pop. That's it. That's my life right now. I need help. So, I have yapped for long enough. If you guys were at Midsummer, I hope you guys had a great time. I'm sorry I was not as active as I was hoping to be. I woke up Sunday morning and my body literally just said no. No, we're not going to do anything today. I am not someone who lives with an actual chronic illness. Like, I don't have POTS, I don't have EDS or anything like that. I just have depression. I have depression. And sometimes, even if you take your medicine, you just wake up some mornings and your body says no. No, we're not going to do anything today. That's what happened Sunday. I just knew, though, if I tried to push through, it would not be enjoyable for me and for really anybody involved with me. So I hung out with Sean. I watched him play Veilguard. I did 500 something stitches on this motherfucker. Like, it's good. I'm good. I'm okay. Some days you just wake up and everything's wrong, you know? Like, everything feels wrong. And that's just what happened on Sunday. And you just gotta roll with it. So, that being said, if you also, like me, have depression or any chronic illness where you are fighting for your life every single fucking day, I hear you and I feel for you because it is not easy out here for us bitches. So please remember to take care of yourself. I know you probably hear that all the time. And what the fuck does that even mean? Because you can be doing your best and your best is not enough. I get it. So at the very least, try to be gentle with yourself. Extend the same kindness and space that you do for others to yourself. I know it's hard. It's so fucking hard. But sometimes all you can do is give yourself that space and just try again the next day. So that's all. Like I said, though, try to take care of yourselves, y'all. We all need each other. So I will see you next time. Bye. plan with this. What? Yeah? Look at her. What? Can I help you? She's so magical looking. Guinevere,